everybody, how's it going? I am Jay Shady, the voice of reason, and I'm here to talk about WrestleMania 23. I'm tired as all hell right now. It's almost 5 in the morning, so I'm just going to get this review over with. Besides, I'm not crazy about this show. WrestleMania 23, it's a decent, okay show. It definitely has some great stuff, but overall, I don't know. There was just something missing in it for me. It just didn't have a big feel like a great WrestleMania has a big feel to it. It was just missing something. I don't know what it was. Yeah, so let me go right into the card. Your first match was the Money in the Bank ladder match. It was Mr. Kennedy, some guy named CM Punk, Randy Orton, Finlay, Matt Hardy, King Booker, Jeff Hardy, and Edge. And I thought out of the first 3 Money in the Banks, this was the worst one out of those 3. This one just wasn't as extreme. It wasn't as hardcore as the others. I mean, you did have some hardcore spots like Jeff Hardy doing like a leg drop type move to Edge from the top of a ladder to another ladder that Edge is laying on. That was hardcore. But it just didn't have as much hardcore stuff, especially without Shelton Benjamin. And like yet Randy Orton doing RKOs from like the second step of the ladder. Like, holy shit, that's really fucking brutal. And you had Booker T doing the bookend from the second step of the ladder. Like, can't you fucking go to the top? So this wasn't as hardcore for me as the other ones. Plus you had 8 guys in here. Just, I liked it a lot better when it was 6 guys. You know, because the less guys you have, the more, you know, quality stuff you could do and the more focus you could have in the match than having a bunch of people. But this was still a good match nonetheless. It was still a very entertaining, especially for an opener. Mr. Kennedy gets the win. He's like fighting with CM Punk at the top of the ladder. Then he pushes CM Punk off the ladder or some shit. And he goes and gets the Money in the Bank briefcase. I can't even fucking talk right now. I'm so tired. So yeah, Mr. Kennedy wins. Good match. Good opener. I just didn't think it was as good as the previous 2 Money in the Bank matches. And then you got the Great Khali versus Kane. This match is as bad as it fucking sounds. The only thing I'll say about this is that it was 6 minutes long, and that's 6 minutes too much. Great Khali wins with some fucking chokeslam shit. Whoop-de-fucking do. Then you get Chris Benoit versus MVP for the United States Championship. This was actually more than I expected from this match because I don't give 2 fucks about MVP. I just don't care for the guy at all. But this was actually an okay match. I'd say it's a decent to good match, somewhere in between there. Chris Benoit wins with the flying headbutt, retains the United States Championship. So yeah, I like the stuff in this match. It was actually not as bad as I thought it would be. So decent to good match. Then you got The Undertaker versus Batista for the Heavyweight Championship. This was your 4th match on the card. You had Undertaker, your Royal Rumble winner, and he was the 4th match on the card. Not crazy about that. But this match was great. Easily one of Undertaker's best WrestleMania matches and probably one of Batista's best matches ever. This was a great match, 2nd best match of the night. A lot of great stuff. Running power slam from Batista from one announce table to another. Batista kicking out the last ride. I think he kicks out of a choke slam too. Undertaker kicking out Batista Bob. A lot of good false finishes. Undertaker ends it with a tombstone and wins the heavyweight championship. So it was great to see not only the streak extending, but Undertaker also winning the title at a WrestleMania again. He didn't do that since WrestleMania 13, I believe, against Sid. So this was a great match. Really, really good match from Undertaker and Batista. Then you got your 8-man tag match. The ECW Originals versus the shitty-ass New Breed. Get the fuck out of here, New Breed. What the fuck is this shit? You know, you have an ECW match at Mania, and it's not even Extreme Rules. They don't even have weapons. It's not even hardcore. Does Vince McMahon not even understand what ECW means? It means Extreme Championship Wrestling, and you're just having some random ass wrestling match. This was retarded ass shit. The New Breed, the fuck out of here. Who from this New Breed is anybody worth mentioning? Matt Striker, what is he? Like the most famous out of all these people, and he's like an announcer? this was retarded shit. Just Vince McMahon burying ECW. ECW Originals win, thank God at least. But this wasn't a good match or anything. Rob Van Dam does a frog splash to Matt Striker, picks up the victory. Then you get Bobby Lashley versus Umaga. The hair versus hair match. Donald Trump's hair versus Vince McMahon's hair. You had Stone Cold Steve Austin as the special guest referee. Now I just want to say something about this WrestleMania. Way too much just stalling and nonsense and filler in between everything. It's like you would have a match, then 10 minutes of just random stalling shit, then another match, then another 15 minutes of nothing happening, then another match. And it was just too much of that shit. You only had 8 matches on this card, and only one match was over 20 minutes. So it was so much just random shit in between matches that just took up such a huge amount of time. And this match took up way too much time. This with the starting video package for this match to the last post-match segment, this was at least around 35-40 minutes. The introductions themselves took like 10 minutes. The match, it started off not good, like what you'd expect from Bobby Lashley versus Umaga. I'd say it did get entertaining though when they brought in Shane McMahon and he started getting involved and Stone Cold started beating up Umaga and Vince and Donald Trump were fighting ringside. I like the entertaining drama happening towards the end of the match, but everything up to that was pretty boring. But it did pick up in entertainment towards the end. Bobby Lashley gets the win, of course. He spears Umaga. Vince McMahon gets his head shaved, so that was hilarious at the time, still hilarious watching it. So this match was good in parts and bad in parts. Bad because it just took up so much time, and because the wrestling match before the real entertainment aspect was boring, but good for the whole entertainment aspect. Then you got random ass lumberjill match for the women's championship, Molina versus Ashley. This is when the women's division stopped being sexy and entertaining, and it just started being like random fucking bimbo cover girls trying to act like they could wrestle. Ashley couldn't fucking wrestle for her life. Molina wins it with like a bridge pin. Then you get your main event, WWE Championship, John Cena versus Shawn Michaels. And this was a great match of the night. And Shawn Michaels can even pull a great match out of John Cena's ass. That's how great Shawn Michaels is. I will say that this wasn't as good as their one Raw match that happened in 2007 later in that year, but this was still a great match. A lot of awesome spots here. You have Shawn Michaels doing jumping off of the middle rope, doing a moonsault outside of the ring onto the announce table where John Cena is. That was fucking crazy. You had a good spot with Shawn Michaels. He kept on reversing out of the FU. He kept on doing different counters. He did a DDT. Then he did one where he landed on his feet and went for Sweet Chin Music. A lot of good back and forth here. False finishes. Some really good reversals in this match. And you had a very exciting closing minutes of this match. The last closing minute where the guys were reversing everything. Shawn Michaels reversed the FU. Cena reversed the Sweet Chin Music, and he kept going for the STFU. Shawn Michaels kept getting out of it, and then John Cena finally gets it locked into Shawn Michaels, the STFU. I think Michaels is going for Enziguri, and Cena ducks and gets the STFU on him, and Shawn Michaels taps out. John Cena keeps his belt. But as great as that whole last segment was, when I was watching it at the time in 2007, I realized something. I realized John Cena is out wrestling Shawn Michaels? Are you fucking kidding me? A fucking scumbag like John Cena, I'm supposed to believe, is out wrestling the greatest wrestler of all time. And fuck that shit, And because of this match and Shawn Michaels losing to a bum like John Cena, not long after this WrestleMania, I gave this shit up. I don't know if I ever said that I took a break from WWE on my videos, but after this WrestleMania 23, John Cena out wrestling Shawn Michaels, I gave this shit up. During this main event, they said that John Cena at this point for the last 24 months has had the title for 20 months. 20 out of those 24 months, Cena has had the title. And I was just sick and fucking tired of seeing this fucking scumbag just being booked like a superhero, beating for the past 2 years all of my favorite legends, people who I know were better, and people who everybody knows were better than this bum John Cena. But the WWE was trying to tell me that John Cena could beat these men. And I said, fuck this shit, I am done with this company. And a couple months after WrestleMania 23, I went cold turkey on this motherfucker and completely stopped. I watched every WrestleMania just for curiosity, but I did not watch any of the other shows. I came back again at the end of 2009 to get ready for Shawn Michaels versus Taker Part 2 for WrestleMania 26. But from WrestleMania 23 to right before WrestleMania 26, John Cena drove me the fuck away. And he's probably going to do it again sooner or later. So yeah, like I said, John Cena wins with the STFU. So yeah, I'm going to give this show a 7.5. You had a really great main event match with Michaels and Cena. You had a great World Heavyweight Championship match with Undertaker and Batista. And you had a really good opener with the Money in the Bank ladder match. But besides that, like, yeah, the hair versus hair was entertaining, but it was also bad for reasons too. Just a lot of nonsense on this card. Khali versus Kane, that ECW bullshit, the Lumberjills match. Like, Chris Benoit MVP was okay, but it's not going to make me say this was a great show. It's not going to, make or break this grade for me. So I'm going to give it a 7.5. Not one of my favorite Manias. It just had like a lack of a big feeling that great Manias have. So there you go, 7.5 out of 10. Still a pretty decent grade, especially because of those two heavyweight championship matches. Alright, so that's it for me. I will be back with WrestleMania 24, probably tomorrow, maybe the next day, we'll see. I am Jay Shady, the voice of reason. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.